Hello SGD, Sacred Geometry Decoded. I'll put the link in the description. So this was a recent upload as an example of 1 second pendulum. So 1 second at 45 degrees north, 0.994387 meters. If we create a 1 meter pendulum, again, these all need to be at 30 degrees, no more than that because it affects the timing. Again, now we have a very effective pendulum. 1 meter, 30 degrees of arc, pi over 6 meters or pi over 6 radian as well. 1 Egyptian Royal Cubit. And then we'll be linking with the 3.3 Imperial feet or 1.00584 meters, which is 1 Saxon yard or 3 Mohenjo-Daro feet, as it's sometimes called, Mohenjo-Daro ruler, or 3 Sumerian feet, as Sumerian measures a little bit tricky there, but the meter, the cubit, the second, the pendulum, how these relate together, joining, for instance, the Mohenjo-Daro scale creates 1 canonical cubit, which 1 meter creates 1 Egyptian Royal Cubit, and the difference between 1 English foot and let's call it an Egyptian foot is 5.6 mil, which is a difference, and if you add 5.84 mil, we get this 1/4 of a millimeter variation between those. But that'll be linked because just so you can see it. Okay, so the pendulums, the margins of error, for instance, from the elbow to the wrist is a difference of 5.6 mil from 1 English foot, the foot, and the relationship between the forearm, as shown in Vitruvian Man, 1 meter, 1 cubit, 1 second. This has all been done. Okay, 32nd degree pendulum at 1 meter needs to be 30 degrees. So, okay, Giza, the Great Pyramid, is just short of 30 degrees north. How far is it? Well, from the center of the Great Pyramid, multiply the base length of 440 times 10, that's the distance, which makes it pi over 6 radian, pi over 6 meters, 1 Egyptian Royal Cubit, second meter cubit, 86,400 seconds per day. Last episode, so the furlong, which is an important measure. King James Bible, they changed from stadia to furlongs, and they describe New Jerusalem and all these very important numbers. Well, 12,000 furlongs, well, 1 furlong, 660 feet in the English or imperial scale, going back to the Greek times. 1.5 foot is a cubit. So 1 furlong, 440 cubits imperial, 440 there. The measure of the angel, which relates to Enoch, the location of a supposed location of the cube of Enoch. So this goes together. Okay, just so happens that 12,000 furlong, the base length or height or width of New Jerusalem, is a harmony point exactly precisely to the smallest measurement available, is exactly a conversion point to meters. The importance of measure and the measure of the angels, even in the book of Enoch as well, again, or Metatron. So 1 furlong, 660 feet is 440 cubits imperial. The base length of the Great Pyramid is 440 feet imperial. Do I have that picture open? No. Okay. 440 Egyptian Royal Cubits. Well, 1 meter, 1 second equals pi over 6 meters equals 1 Egyptian Royal Cubit. So 440 times this gives us the base length of the Great Pyramid. Multiply that by 10, you get the distance from which the pyramid is south of this 30 degree line north. So that's the, again, measure connects nicely in there. Alright, now it just so happens, so as the legend goes, the cube and the pillars of Enoch under 9 arches said to be at Mount Zion. The most spoken about location of Mount Zion would be the Temple Mount, where the Alaska Mosque sits. Now, exactly from the southwest corner, and this is a very important corner of a pyramid. This is so nice in regards to other aspects, but from there, precisely to the center, to the rock itself, the omphalos stone, this important stone, it's effectively a ben. It is exactly 440 kilometers, or 61.88 degrees. That's within a fraction of 1.08 radian. Well, again, radian, 30 degrees is pi over 6 radian, but okay, let's keep going. So 440 kilometers is exactly 273.4 4.03325 miles. That's whether it's the modern English mile or the Saxon mile, because they're the same one. And that's a nice thing that's going on there, because the pyramid sits on the socle, or the paving stone. The paving stone at 55 centimeters is, well, 0.0273403325. We can just round that off. That's exactly the same number there, just to shift a decimal place. In chain, the Gunther's chain, as in 10 chain per furlong, which relates to New Jerusalem. Alright, Gunther. And he also divided his chain into 100 links, so that's why you get that same number going on there. That's an interesting connection there, because it brings us to King James Version of the Bible and New Jerusalem. And we see again, so 1/10 of a furlong is 66 feet, equals 1 Gunther's or surveyor's chain. 1 surveyor's chain, 27340332545. Okay. Well, if you want to find the size of the Earth, so the polar diameter of the Earth equals the height of the pyramid plus the socle. If you multiply that by 86,400, as in 86,400 seconds per day, you get the polar diameter of the Earth. Not the radius, you actually get the whole diameter of the Earth, above rivaling modern satellite measurements. And, well, you get the height of a pyramid plus 2.734033325. Okay, and that is, of course, a number of miles from that corner of a pyramid to the very center of Jerusalem, which is 440 kilometers, the Great Pyramid 440, and, well, Gunther's chain being 44 cubits, or 1 furlong, 440. Okay, but so this all goes back to the period of Queen Elizabeth I, Edmund Gunther, John Dee, Shakespeare, Bacon, and the King James I Bible. This is this very Hermetic, very interesting period. Again, where the Bible was rewritten, King James Bible, to speak of furlongs, not of stadia or stades. Metatron, Book of Enoch, all these connections there. New Jerusalem, at this, which we know precisely what a Gunther's chain is. That's precisely one, converts precisely to the modern metre, which, there you go. Okay, so 440 kilometres. Now, 1 metre, okay, so New Jerusalem, as described in the King James Version, converts to metres. The same unit of measure, furlong, well, 1/10 of a furlong is a Gunther's chain. So whether it was just a shifted decimal place, so whether it's chain or furlong, 2734033, which is the number of miles there, and that's the number of, that's this. You have to add to the height of the pyramid to get the circumference, the polar diameter of the Earth. So metres to Gunther's chain, to 273403333, to New Jerusalem. 1 metre pendulum, no more than 30 degrees, equals pi over 6 metres, equals 1 Egyptian Royal Cubit, which sort of brings us back to metre, the second, the pendulum, and the Great Pyramid times by 86,400. You get the equatorial circumference of the Earth times 86,400. You get the polar diameter of the Earth. It describes the oblate spheroid to high precision. A few uploads ago in this same series, I spoke about the metre. If you do the double vesica, all this, there's synodic month, sidereal month, lunar year, so much info, but just as one example, 1 metre equals 273.403325. That's exactly the number of miles from that corner of the pyramid to the center of New Jerusalem. It also converts to that same number, 0.273403325 fathom, or, because a fathom is 2 yards is a fathom, so okay, we get that same. But it also converts to 27.34033325 ionic fingers. Why ionic is important? Well, okay, now we see it. Just going to highlight those particular numbers for the moment. Okay, the Great Pyramid itself, 481.1 feet, given a few mils, the exact height unknown. Because of the angle of the casing stones, we do have a very, very good approximate. Well, that would convert to 27.33523 Doric rods. From the southwest corner of the Great Pyramid to the very center of the Dome of a Rock, 440 kilometers, that many miles. That converts to 481189.8515 yards, 3 feet to a yard. Okay. Now to get for Sokol, again, to get the size of the Earth, we need to include the paving stones, which in itself is also 273403332, blah, 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 blah. Okay, now it's an important feature. Now, so the Sokol, now it's often said that the pyramid is perfectly level. It's not perfectly level. One side is about an inch shorter than the other, which creates two heights of the pyramid. So 481.1 feet would be the standard. However, within a fraction, again, that's, we've got a fraction of an inch going on there. So this would match, include that extra inch to the height of the pyramid itself. That converts to 27.340332, exactly the same in Doric rods. So the height of a Sokol, 273403325. New Jerusalem, from Jerusalem, Dome of a Rock Center to the southwest corner of a pyramid, 440, exactly the same number. That converts to that in yards. So again, we just divide that by 3 feet per yards. We get again, shifting the decimal places, we get exactly that same number again. Now we have Doric rods, and we also have Ionic fingers, and the canonical scale, which we mentioned relates to the Mohenjo-Daro unit of measure, or the Saxon yard, which comes via the pendulum. So that just happens to convert it exactly 1 metre to 273.403325. Same number. Okay. So the Imperial measure from the Dome of the Rock to the southwest corner of the Great Pyramid gives us this Doric scale, and we also have the Ionic scale in meters. So we already had foot, metre, and cubit. And the second, well, let's look at a Mason tracing board. We have the Doric and Ionic. These are also modes of music, as in the Ionian and Dorian. Doric and Ionic architecture, schools, music. We also have this very important Salamis stone, which has the modern English foot at least 500 BC, as well as the Ionic and the Doric. Doric and Ionic. Doric 273403325. That's just, we've extended that with one. Doric rods, Ionic fingers 273403325. Miles from that corner to the very center of Jerusalem, Dome of a Rock, 273403325. The height of a Sokol in Gunther's chain, which in New Jerusalem converts exactly to meters, is 273403325. I just extended the decimal places there. Once you get to a certain point, it's like 1/100,000th of a millimeter. We have these Masonic connections as well, measurement connections. And why is the southwest corner so important? Well, if you look at the pyramid, each side of a pyramid has a slight variation, and it is at the southwest corner that meters emerges as the most input. Well, the slight variations bring us closest to, for instance, maximum visible base of a pyramid minus the height of a pyramid equals 1030.744 feet equals 314.17077 meters, which is equal to pi times 100. I already mentioned, we'll get more into it, times 10, times 100, times 1,000, repeated consistently. Also, not only linking New Jerusalem, it also links Heliopolis. The line through the Great Pyramid, through Heliopolis, also points to Baalbek, also renamed Heliopolis during Greco-Roman times. So the southwest corner, based on best survey, best represents meters through these important constants. The metre, the foot, the cubit, and exactly these same specific sets of numbers are merging over and over again, including in the Doric and the Ionic scale, as well as the canonical scale, which comes from Mohenjo-Daro, ancient Indian scale of measure via the pendulum as well, meters, feet, cubits, seconds, Doric, Ionic, Corinthian, all blend wonderfully, perfectly, and this is a code. There's no other way to put it, because the not just is it just nice numbers coming together, these actually refer to mathematical constants as well. More to that Cheers.